So the first Learn with Seb that we are going to be doing this lockdown is going to be the push-up. I understand that quite a few of our members would quite like to learn the push-up or either get better at the push-up, because I'm sure plenty of you, as well as I used to, do it wrong as well. So basically what we're going to do is go through progressions daily, so you'll have a new, slightly harder progression tomorrow, and so on and so forth until we get to that push-up that we're looking to hit. So if you want to jump on these with me, they'll be on pretty much daily, and once you're ready to improve or step up, make it a little bit harder, you can go on to the harder progression. I'll go over the pointers first, then I'll go over the demo, and then I'll leave it to you guys. So first one we're going to do is negative push-ups from the knees. So basically, going from the knees, it's going to take some of that weight off, so it's going to be a little bit easier. Negatives, so basically that means just controlling the eccentric, the way down, means that we don't have to worry about the pushing phase yet. We're just trying to build up strength and obviously develop those motor pathways to make sure that you're doing the movement correctly. And it's a good way to kind of train safely. So rather than trying to push and then everything goes all over the place, we'll just focus on the way down, control it for as long as we can, and then just fall on the floor. So something that will really help is distributing your weight nice and evenly, but the majority of your weight should be on the outside of your hand. Whilst doing that, you should also be creating a little bit of torque. So I mean twisting ever so slightly, like gripping the floor almost. It's a bit like when we squat. When we squat, we distribute the weight onto our tripod and we grip the floor like so. And what that does is it puts our knees out into that position to allow them to track with our outer toe. It's exactly the same with gripping the floor with your hands. It'll allow you to, for those elbows to track in towards our body. So if I come from the back, we want our elbows to track in at around a 45-degree angle. Anything around here is absolutely fine. But when we start getting up here, and this is why you want to grip the floor, make sure those elbows are coming in at a 45-degree angle, is because the stress it puts on our shoulders. This position here at a 45-degree angle protects our shoulders, and it makes sure that the focus is on our chest and on our triceps. So that's why you want to distribute your weight on the outside of your hands, gripping the floor, creating a little bit of torque, and then that will help you track appropriately. With this movement also, you want to fix the hips in place at the top of the movement, and then come down, bring your chest down to the floor, and then once you can't hold that movement anymore, just fall on the floor. And you should be able to do that if your face is out of the way, and that's how you'll know you're doing it right or not. So yeah, if I get into the demo, we've gone over the pointers, keep those in mind. It's going to look something like this. So as you progress with this first progression, is you'll be able to hold it for longer. On the way down, you'll be able to go slower. So try and track time on the way down, so how long you can control it all the way down. So that's one way we can kind of make this harder without changing the movement. And then also the depth we managed to get. So if we get down a little bit further without falling on the floor, that'll be a bonus. So for example, starting off, what we're going to do is we're going to get into position. So like those pointers I just mentioned, we're going to fix our hips in place. The floor's going to be nice and tight. We're going to distribute the weight on the outside of our hands, gripping the floor, and then creating a little bit of torque. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to come down really slowly. Keep those shoulder blades together, and then you might only get down to here. And then what you want to do is fall on the floor, like so. If you find your face hits in the floor, bring your hips through ever so slightly, like so. Mine are obviously in the right position at the moment. So yeah, what you're going to do is work on that, practice it, get comfortable with falling on the floor onto your chest. Maybe bump up the reps, bump up the sets of how many you're doing. And again, time and attention. Work on how long you're in that movement, in that negative, and also the depth you manage to get. So for example, you might start off only being able to get down here, and then falling on the floor, but towards the end, you might be able to control it all the way down. So that's an improvement. You might be able to hold it a little bit longer, so you might only be able to hold it all the way down for that long, and then the next time you might be able to hold it even longer. So really controlling it all the way down. You can kind of just do like the worms, come back up, get back into position, and fix those hips. Yeah, so that's the first progression. Have a go with that. Bump up sets, bump up reps, time under tension, and also the range of motion. And then once you get comfortable with that, you can move on to the next progression, which will be a little bit harder. Let me know how you get on, if you need any more tips or anything, or send us a message and we'll be happy to help you guys out. I shall see you in the next one.